Hey, checking in with chapters 21 to 25 of Lady Anna um, by Anthony Trollope. Um, in these sections, well, we are getting more of the back and forth of the the Countess is really hammering away at her daughter Anna to renounce Daniel Thwaite, to never see him again, to the point where she's like ill, like and basically the doctor says like, yeah, this is you're hammering her so much she needs to get away, and so they actually send her off to a family friends. The Countess does not tell Daniel Thwaite where she is sent her. It's like, oh, is it that way? Is it? It's like, yes. And they do have a real set too, where it's like, you need to leave my daughter alone. I'm not going to do that. I'm demanding to kind of have access to her to have her own thing because the Countess is basically doing anything. She's lying, saying nope, she doesn't want to marry you. It's like, well, she obviously very much does want to. Um, they get the Lord Lovell to come and visit her, to try and persuade her that way, and that does not particularly work. She still refuses him, but she says like, "Well, will you think about it for a week and then write me, or I'll check with you." He's trying to kind of wear her down. Um, Daniel is like, well, okay, I'm if I can't see her because like she will not let me, the Countess will not let him see, if you won't let me see her, I'll write her a letter and you can read the letter. And he writes a letter that basically says, look, if you'll write to me saying you love the other guy and you don't want me, I will renounce my thing. I'll release you from any vow. It's like, I'm not. um and Lady, in the end, especially with their friends, it's like he should have no contact. They should have no contact whatsoever. So she returns a letter to him, on saying like, I'm not giving. I've chosen not to share this with my daughter. Stay away, stay away. And he's basically of the thing of like, look, if she still wants to, she's going to be turning 21. She'll basically become an adult, and we can get married whether people want to or not. Um, and it's really interesting. Daniel Thwaite, to me, reminds me, in his kind of vigor, in his kind of frank sensuality, of almost like a D.H. Lawrence figure, D.H. Lawrence character. It's been a long while since I read D.H. Lawrence, but there's sort of a thing of kind of more middle class guys, maybe middle lower class guys who are just like have kind of that fire and vigor. And it's interesting contrasting the two men, Daniel Thwaite and Lord Lovell, because they're both actually pretty good guys. He's definitely of the thing of like, you're degrading yourself by consorting with this guy, by considering marrying him. Like, you're degrading yourself. And obviously from a modern perspective, you have to look at that and go, yeah, right. But there's also sort of a thing of just this society of being kind of built upon aristocracy in a way. It's like it's the stabilizing force. It's, I don't know. I mean, this is a part of the, it's, of course, that's what the ruling moneyed class would like you to think, but it's sort of, you, in one sense, if you have to take it seriously, at least you have to understand that a good hunk of this, the characters and the people in this book are taking it very deadly seriously, that a woman of the higher class would degrade herself by being with someone of lower class, of a tailor, journeyman tailor. But at the same time, you've got that real kind of like thing of like, I make myself useful. I am a useful man. I am someone who's got as much worth, or if not more worth, than some lord who basically just has inherited his money and is expected to get more money by marrying this woman, but is not really doing anything of his own to kind of make his own existence um, for a reason for his existence. It's like it's a real clash of um, of sort of a new way of being in the society. It's like a lot of times in these books, it's like it's the woman that it's the new woman, but this is like, oh, this is Daniel Thwaite is the new man in this society of someone in the lower classes who doesn't particularly just out, but of course want to slot himself in a subordinate position to all this aristocracy. And I mean, I know that, like, we've got Oliver Cromwell, we've got precedents for this like that, but I mean, it's that kind of precedent. Probably it's like revolutionaries who are going to burn us, and French Revolution are going to behead us all over the place. That kind of fear and danger that especially a very conservative, kind of small c conservative um, nation of shopkeepers like England has rejected, and is now slowly, through reform, because it's notable about when this novel, I think, is set in the 1830s. It's set in that reform period, which is what made Phineas Finn interesting to me, of being more overtly kind of the political reform stuff. Naturally, the Phineas Finn happens later, when they are politically accepting this. This is pre that, when it's basically horsewhip them, you know, massacre them in the streets, repress them kind of feelings. So yeah, Lady Anna, interesting book with maybe a D.H. Lawrence character, maybe a revolutionary at the heart of it, in Daniel Thwaite, and Lady Anna being like, no, I love this man. And this is, that's kind of the more human side of things. And not that Daniel Thwaite isn't very human and kind of sensual, and this whole thing of, a woman lying on my breast, Anna lying on his breast, is like, okay, that's very earthy, very, it's a little bit more unbuckled, unbuttoned, Victorian literature than I'm used to. I mean, not that it's super, super racy, but it's just like, oh, I can feel it, which sometimes I just don't in these novels. Which, I think about the last thing of the language of the Countess towards her daughter, also being like, oh shoot, we're violating norms here. We're really pushing. It feels like we're pushing the envelope in this novel. That's my impression from other Trollope novels that seemed a lot more buttoned down, by comparison. All right, more videos later.